Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another beautiful Oxygen Not Included series. I'm really excited about this one. In our last video, we talked about, hey, if you have any suggestions on which direction we take our next colony in, hey, let me know. And one of the good friends of the channel, Philip, had a great idea about spending 100 days in ONI and as for a theme, like a pollution theme, because last colony that we had was very green. We had a lot of plants and that sort of thing. And while I don't know how deep the pollution theme sort of could be, the polluter theme, I kind of thought of a different spin on it. Let's get started on that. As the normal, we're going to go straight into survival. We're going to go with spaced out. Now, this is a risky endeavor, right? Because we all know that spaced out is still sort of in development, but I think it's a lot more flushed out than it was in our last colony. So I'm really excited that we're actually going to have some working geysers and, might actually have a sustainable source of water on a couple of these planetoids. That'd be great. We have a lot more starting options for spaced out, but I was thinking about going with the forest cluster, but it'd be a pain in the butt to find the metal, right? And when you hear about the new idea, you'll see why we're going to need so much metal. Basically, long story short, we're going to name this bad boy Primus. Why Primus? Well, for those of you Transformer nerds, you've already kind of figured it out. We're going to go with a very metal, automation-heavy theme. We want to exploit everything. We want to automate everything. We want to make our dupes have just sort of a life of luxury, right? Because we want machines and everything else to do the most that it can. We're going to explore and exploit every single biome. It's gonna be beautiful. So without further ado, let's re-roll this seed a few times, end up on this random one here, and click start. And this is where we all cross our fingers that we actually have some water geysers this time. We have our digger, we have our researcher, and we have our rancher. I was really trying to get the trait that it starts with the ranching skill, but long story short, it was just taking too long. So we have a +7 rancher who also is an animal lover, which makes sense, and so that means they should start with a 10 animal husbandry. Very cool. We have our researcher +12 to science, and quick learner, which I thought was really good. This is going to give us starting science of 15. Unfortunately, yeah, they're going to fall asleep every once in a while. It's okay. And then we have our digger with a +9 excavation, and he's also handy. I thought it'd be good to have a little bit of faster construction speed on our primary digger builder. So here it is. But like I said before, the theme of this is very machine-oriented, and so our colony is named Primus, and we, of course, are going to rename our dupes. All right, there we go. Welcome aboard, Optimus, Wheeljack, and Hound. Good luck, have fun, here we go. Brand new colonies. You gotta love them. Quick pause, obviously. Let's get the lay of the land. Ooh, we've already found one of our conveyor loaders. It looks like it's not connected. Maybe it just hasn't spawned yet. I think this is normally where the supply teleporter goes to. That's gonna be interesting. Hopefully it's not like a bugged out start. Lots of copper. This is good. Lots of sandstone. Also good. Plenty of sand. Oh, wow. Look at this. Lots of natural growth here. This is going to be good here. Plenty of oxygen, it seems. All right. Where is the algae? There's the algae. Perfect. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. We're apparently on Fertilera. We'll call it Primus. Here we go. Cool steam vent, cool slush geyser, cool salt slush geyser, natural gas geyser. Ooh. Minor volcano, a carbon dioxide geyser, and a regular volcano. All right, we can work with this much better than our starting planetoid from last colony. Our biomes, we got a space biome, a magma biome, sandstone, marsh, jungle, barren, wasteland, and a tundra. Good stuff. I don't think we had a tundra last time. I can't remember. This looks really good. Very happy that we're actually going to be able to have water. I'm a little concerned what this means here. I'm really hoping we're just not missing the teleporter. Before we get kicking too much, let's make sure we adjust the priorities a little bit. Now, some explanation on something that we always do. We always turn enable proximity on, but you don't really do this until you get the colony sort of going. And the reason why is because some things will have to happen in a more timely basis, not necessarily on a time-saving proximity basis. And what I mean by that, if we really need to load up a diffuser with algae or something, it needs to happen now because our dupes are depending on breathing. Whereas in the future, we have plenty of dupes to do all the jobs, right? But we are more concerned with doing the jobs more efficiently. In the beginning, I'm not necessarily as concerned about efficiency as we are with just getting the job done. So we will save that setting for a while. All right, obviously Optimus is going to do the digging. Primary digging. As always, I'm going to put building on a higher priority than the digging. Remember, this is the reason why they can make sure that they always build the little ladder rung before they dig the dirt out. And so it's a better chance of your dupes not being trapped, at least is what I have found. We don't want anybody in the colony doing research other than Wheeljack. Thank you, Wheeljack. And obviously, the only person going to be able to ranch is Hound because he, no one else is going to have the ranching skill. So this works here. Trying to make sure everything is set. I think it is. That's good. All right, now looking around, we have a couple of large water piles. This one is further below than this one, which makes it a lot easier to dump this pool into this pool by use of gravity. So I think we'll do that. I also see a little bit up here. So I think what we'll do to start, we shouldn't worry about dumping this quite yet, but we do want to get down to this. So maybe we do a little extra digging this time around and put the starting stuff here. All right, let me see what we can come up with. All right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to dig out 4 this way and then go straight down with the ladder. And this will give us access into this water pool, and we'll be able to put some cots here and maybe the bathrooms here. Optimus, what are you doing? Because there's only 2 tiles, Optimus doesn't have a place that he can actually dig. Well, let's help you out, buddy. We actually want to go investigate this anyways, but we're going to put this on a lower priority because this is the secondary digging. We want our primary life-supporting stuff to be done first. It is cycle 1, so now's the time to take your bets on how long it will take us to pollute our clean water supply. My guess, 15 cycles. Go ahead and make your bets now. 15 cycles is what I'm going with. Now this is going to be a little bit more digging than is typical for your starting area, so we may not be able to get everything we normally want completed in time. I know we can get the cots down. I'm a little worried about the bathrooms just because of how long it's going to take this to get down there. We can also dig this way. Yeah, why don't we put cots over here and bathrooms here? Put our cots there. I wanted to make sure they weren't going to be in the range of the light. This is obviously a temporary position for our cots, but light would make it bad nonetheless. It would cause the dupes to constantly wake up. How are we doing down here, Hound? Optimus, with his priority being on building, will now come down here and help dig and build. We can cancel these out for now because there are other places that we can build. Let's go right here. And we also want to make those priority 4. So that way Optimus only works on our higher priority digging and building. Well, that is when Wheeljack's not taking his job. All right, we've got our basic setup here. We're going to have the 2 wash basins and the 2 toilets here. We have our pitcher pump. Now the dupes just have to execute. Halfway through cycle 1, and it looks like we will make it just fine. Where else can we dig to here? Looks like we found our first slime biome. Yeah, Optimus is definitely going to get slime lung. He's got the decreased germ resistance. Oh, look at this. On the side here, the supply teleporter input was there. It's just a little further away, and by graphical glitch, it wouldn't show it until you've kind of revealed more territory. Very interesting. All right, first things first, let's set these directions correctly. Here we go. Look at Wheeljack. Looks like Wheeljack's going to get some water for the wash basins. Very nice. All right, we're about 75% through the first day. I don't see why we can't just put down our research station to start. We'll have our wheel. We'll probably also put our oxygen supply down here with the battery. So let's go right here. I went to go build the manual generator, and apparently we haven't dug up any copper. There's plenty over here. There's actually one right here, as a matter of fact. And Wheeljack's already starting with a narcoleptic nap. Way to go, Wheeljack. We're going to need to score out some more copper ore in order to finish our little research area here. Another thing to look at is we have 21,000 calories. That is 7 cycles worth. I'm going to give it another cycle or two before we start throwing down our mealwood. It looks like we're going to have to start with mealwood. Not a big deal. But we'll probably get a lot of muckroot in the meantime as well. I mean, we could also go with some bristle blossoms. The unfortunate thing is I believe I was double checking to make sure that no one is allergic, and it doesn't look like they are. So let's decide between the bristle blossoms and the muckroot. The bristle blossom takes 6 cycles, and at the end of that produces 1,600 calories, which comes out to be about 267 calories per cycle per bristle blossom. The mealwood takes 3 cycles, and at the end of which it produces 600 calories, which means it's only 200 calories per cycle of food being provided versus the bristle blossom, which is 267. So pound for pound, you're actually getting more food per cycle with the bristleberry. There is the disadvantage, though. The mealwood requires dirt, whereas the bristle blossom requires water. Now, I believe, are going to have an infinite supply of water here, so I'm not too concerned about it. There's also the concern of light. To grow bristle blossoms, you need to be under the light. So why don't we do a little mix of both? Because at 267 calories per cycle, that means we would need 4 bristle blossoms per dupe, whereas on the mealwood, you need 5. So let's do a little mix of both. Step 1 when doing the bristle blossoms is removing this ration box. Now, you may be wondering why, but for the early part of the game when you're working on these sort of items, the easiest source of light is your printing pod. The printing pod provides plenty of light for 6 bristle blossoms. So, well, it looks like in this case it is 5. I'm guessing because these rocks here. I wonder if we, let's see, do this. Does it extend the light over by 1? Nope, it's just weird that way. It looks like the center of the light is here, but by the light schematic, it looks like the center is here. All right, so we at least have enough room for 5, though. While we're doing that, we can actually put a door right here and make this a little barracks. With our copper completed, we now have enough copper for both the battery, the manual generator, and the oxygen diffuser, so we can get to the business of research. Speaking of research, what are we going to start with? Well, we're going to want these planter boxes because we're going to want to grow some food. So let's start with food on the tier 1 and go from there. Then we'll probably move. In fact, we can probably straight go into meal prep because I'd like to get these mess tables as well. That way our dupes aren't eating on the ground. Way to go, Wheeljack. With a science of 15. It's not going to be too much problem for Wheeljack to discover the amazing revolution of planter boxes. And research is stopped because Wheeljack needed to take a nap. Way to go, Wheeljack. And it's okay because they've already finished the research, so even with the naps, Wheeljack is doing just a bang-up job. Alright, the bristle blossoms are going in. We only have 2 seeds right now, but as we get more seeds, we're digging out all of this. And as we get more seeds, they'll be able to fill that in. More digging, lots of muckroot around here. We're going to be using all of this. We'll enable auto harvest on these, but as soon as these shine bugs get out, they're not going to be doing much growing. We did put the door on the barracks, which is good. That way the shine bugs can't get in there. A little later on in the game, I think we're going to be using shine bugs for our reactor to great radiation. Interested in making a shine bug farm of sorts. We'll see. Yeah, this bristle blossom here, these bristle blossoms are never going to grow. There's no light, so we'll just dig those up and replant them. Oh, look at this. Printing pod number 1. What do we have? All right. A little bit of sandstone. And look, Liam. Liam's not a bad farmer. Green thumb, agriculture, and gourmet cuisine. So the gourmet cuisine means that he's better at cooking, but he doesn't necessarily enjoy it, so he doesn't get the morale bonuses. We are going to be on mealwood for a little while, so this kind of makes sense. The other 2 dupes are standard fare, nothing really special. I think we're going to go ahead and add Liam. Liam's only bad trait is that he's unempathetic. He cares more about the plants than he does people. All right, Liam. Welcome to the team. Oh, but wait, sorry, we're changing your name. Welcome to Trailbreaker. Make sure we get Trailbreaker a nice little sleeping spot. And immediately, though, it's time to split up these schedules. We only have 2 bathrooms each. 3 dupes can use 2 bathrooms just fine, but it's better for everybody to have a single access. Eventually, like I said, we're not holding anything back on this run. So we're going to make bedrooms for each duplicant. Every duplicant's going to have their own bathroom and their own exosuit right in their bathroom. For schedules, I'm just going to add a few right here. We're going to call this Shift 1 as the standard, and this slot Shift 2. Easy enough. Then we're going to shift all this around just a little bit. Let me work on it. Alright, there we have Shift 1 and Shift 2, just sliding them down the rung. And we'll take Optimus and Wheeljack and put them on Shift 1. Hound and Trailbreaker will go on Shift 2. I'm loving these names. Already ready for more research. We are going to be getting grooming stations sooner rather than later, but right now we still got to wait for Hound to get their skill points in order to be able to put them into ranching. For now, let's go with the big batteries. The jumbo batteries are so much better than the smaller batteries. We're going to dig out a little area for a small little mess hall. I don't want to pop this yet, though. We don't have a carbon sink below, and you can see this little cavern is full of carbon dioxide. Wouldn't be a huge problem, but not one we're willing to go into yet. I think what we're going to do is dig down and through here and make this our carbon sink for now. And oh wow, Wheeljack's already done with that research. I guess let's get a nice water cooler going for our mess hall. Here's going to be where all of our meal lice lives temporarily. I separated each of the 5 meal woods by 1, so it's easy to see at a quick glance how much meal wood we have to support how many dupes. And we can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got enough food here, just the meal lice for 4 dupes. We're still going to have our nice little bristle blossoms, but we are going to be growing, and this is just an easy way to keep it all sorted. All right, Trailbreaker is going to be prioritized doing farming, and that way we can make sure that he's keeping up on the mealwood. And what we'll probably do, in addition to do the farming, we'll probably start him off with cooking as well. Right now, we don't have enough morale to really put him in cooking from the flip, but starting off with farming, though, he'll be able to make sure that we stay up on our mealwood. In fact, let's give him a little hat. He's earned it. Look at him. I wonder if the old dupes are jealous of the new dupes. I mean, they print from the pod and they already have a skill point. All the other dupes don't. There's plenty of other tier 1 researches that we could get into, but let's go ahead and get advanced research. That way we can get the supercomputer online. And with the supercomputer, that way we're ready as soon as Wheeljack gets his skill point. They'll get the advanced research and be ready to go. So it looks like we've got a pretty good start to our colony. I'm loving what we're doing. I'm loving where we're going. Speaking of which, I wanted to talk to you for a second about our sort of colony priorities. So as we've talked about, we're going to prioritize automation over dupe labor. We are also going to be capitalizing and exploiting all of the natural resources here. Hatches, yep, we're going to exploit them. All the colonies, all the planetoids, yep, we're taking every last mineral for us. That's how we're going to roll here. Number 2, we're going to colonize the entire galaxy. You know, we're going to eventually see what the entire star map holds, and yeah, we're going to put a little settlement on at least every single planetoid, and that way we have some way to strip mine the whole thing. Yes. And number 3, Philip had suggested playing it for 100 days. 100 days is not really a challenge. I think we all managed to play ONI in one colony for 100 days. Checking back in some of my other old saves, I had colonies I think with upwards of 85 to 90 hours. So I was thinking, well, maybe not an hour limitation, because there's a lot of time that we just spend sitting here waiting for dupes to do things. So I don't think that's a really a great challenge, but you know what is? 2,000 cycles. So we're going to take this colony to at least 2,000 cycles. And look at that, Wheeljack is already done researching. I think we're going to go straight into coal generation and smart batteries. This is going to be good. We're going to love those fossil fuels. We're going to eat them up. And then we're probably going to get into grooming stations. Right now, the only thing holding us back from putting a coal generator online is, while we do have coal, right now we only have 1,678 kilos. I'd rather wait until we have our hatch farms up and we have that steady source of coal before we start putting all the smog into the world. I'm not quite ready to get into these little areas because they have the polluted oxygen. So we are going to strip mine this, but we're going to use the old stair method. And what this does is it makes sure that the dupes can actually get to the location. Because remember, dupes can go down by one, you know, they can use this. Remember, dupes can always go down as long as they have a little stair path that's no bigger than 2. So this will work out well. And then eventually we'll be able to dig down through here. We don't even have the hard digging yet to get through the granite. And then we'll clear all this out and start putting our giant mechanized base on. Oh, it looks like we're ready for our supercomputer. Let's put it down. I don't think we have the skills quite to get it, but we'll at least have it all wired up and ready to go. Keeping a close eye on our algae. Last colony, we ran kind of thin on algae before we managed to get our electrolyzer set up. Not going to be the case this time. We've already discovered our beautiful natural gas geyser. That comes out at a cool 150 degrees. Can't wait to start pumping natural gas through that. And that way we already start generating that polluted water and that nice smog. But looking around, though, we have a lot of differing biomes. It's really cool to start this way. We have the slime biome over here. We have the sort of sulfur. I don't even know what they call that biome. It's one of the newer biomes. The wasteland biome. Knowing is half the battle. Sorry, wrong 80s cartoon. So we have the wasteland biome here. Then we have another slime biome. Moving over here, though, we have, it looks like the caustic biome. Or I guess they also call it the jungle biome. Oh, look at this. Wheeljack has earned a skill point. Very nice. Advanced research ready to go. And with that, you will be officially ordained with the advanced research hat. Well done, Wheeljack. Oh, and we have idle dupes. That will not be doing well. Let's make sure we get all that done. We'll put the nice priority of 4 on it. With that, I think we've got enough footage for the very first episode of what we're going to be calling the Primus series. Really excited about the direction of this one. I look forward to exploring and seeing everything that it holds and what direction we take into with our awesome themes. I had fun. I hope you did too. Talk to you soon.